So we looked at the eligibility criteria so far. Now we are going to look at the ways we can partner. And I'm going to talk about three aspects here. I am going to talk about the physical, mental, and spiritual action that are required. So we need three different level of actions. And when I say three different level of actions, does not mean everyone has to do all three level. It is the partnership level. I'm defining the partnership level at three levels: physical, mental, and spiritual, based on what your goals are, what you want to achieve, the kind of changes you want to make, um, what the purpose of your life is. You want materialistic things, you want mental things, peace, calm, tranquility, or you want salvation or moksha or enlightenment. Is up to you. But I'm gonna talk about some of the things that can help you take advantage of the partnership. So how can you partner? Uh, Starting with the body, cleanliness of body is important, and I would not say that um, for if you are spiritual or if you don't clean, you don't take care of cleanliness. That is going to be a hindrance. Don't think of cleanliness as having everything clean, because when I say for this universe everything is equal, when light and darkness is equal, then cleanliness and dirt or filth should be equal as well, right? which is which is how it is. So cleanliness is an act to get you in a routine, get you in a discipline, get you in that mindset. It's an activity, a process to get you in that mindset. Cleanliness of a body is important in many ways. So that is one thing you can um, you can start participating. And then again, don't look at these things as independent things. You have to combine things and look at from that perspective, and don't also look at the physical act is only for physical gain, mental act is only for mental gain. All these are intercombined, intertwined, intermingled, to be honest, and they will help you get things from each other area as well. But I'm just defining them from different perspective: physical, mental, and spiritual. Detachment, we'll have to learn detachment from many things, and many times it is a physical detachment, whether it's from people, from materialistic thing, or anything. We can't get everything. We'll have millions and billions and gazillions of thoughts or desires. We can't get everything, no matter. Even if I give you a magic wand where you can get everything what you want, I can assure you after some time you'll be bored of that, because every time you are doing desire, you are fulfilling a desire, you will get a new desire. So fulfillment of desire is not something that can stop the cycle, but creating new desire is something that can stop the cycle. When we have desire, we can either fulfill them or we cannot fulfill them. No matter what we do, we get more desires. So detachment is important from that perspective. So some of the things also we have to do apart from detachment is non-violence and non-stealing. I could not find a different word for not stealing. Um, a different term. If you know, please let me know. So I use the word non-stealing. Um, Non-violence is not just being physically violent to someone. It is a verbal violence as well, mental violence as well. If you want to raise your vibration, take advantage of the partnership, do non-violent things, non-violent actions, words, and thoughts. You may very well ask, when I was talking about cleanliness of the body, I said filth and cleanliness are treated as the same level. There's no difference, like light and dark. Then why violence and non-violence is different in that case? It is not. It is not different. But then you are trying to focus on, you're trying to choose something from light and dark. There are always two paradigm, two end of this. You have to choose what way you want to go, because the kind of practices that you follow will take you toward that spectrum, that paradigm. And there are pros and cons for everything. But non-violence is something that can help raise your vibration, not just by actions, because many times we are non-violent by action because at times we are physically weak, we are not there, simply not there physically, or we are able to stop our actions when we process the information. Like we become angry, but when we don't punch someone, we uh, stop ourselves short of doing that many times. But even thinking violently, thinking bad about someone is bad. It is wrong. Is a violence. Or saying something wrong to someone is a violence. So just remember that non-violence is one thing you can practice, and that can help raise your vibration and help you get more results from the light side, I would say. Non-stealing, it is an interesting aspect. Stealing could be anything, again, physical level, mental level as well. Just because you're not stealing anything from someone, it doesn't mean you're stealing, or not stealing rather. I have a very interesting story. I'll take a couple of minutes to say this story, because this story is really really powerful, at least for me. This is a story I live my life by, or try to rather. And I guess Bridge would know this story because I've told him this story many times. I keep reminding him of this. So the story is that, and if some of you already know that, please excuse me for taking time and explaining this. But just for the benefit of some of the others, if you guys don't know, let me just quickly go through the story. So the story goes, there is a king uh, who's now getting old. He has three sons, and he's trying to find a proper person who can actually take over the kingdom. And he does not want to go by the criteria of age or looks or the physical strength or thing like that, because he thinks that if he applies one criteria, the other person it would not be a fair competition, it would not be a fair process of selection. So he devises a plan, he devises a puzzle rather, a contest, saying that um, to become eligible or to become a king, what you have to do is you have to go steal something. The only condition is that no one should be watching you. And that he puts this condition in front of his three sons. And the first one goes, and he goes out of the city where he finds a jungle where he finds no one is watching. So he goes steal something from, or get something, pick something from there, and comes back. So his father asks, so were you able to steal something? He said yes. And then he asked, so are you sure no one saw you? So he said yes, because I actually went out of the city where we have population, so I went to a non-populated area in a jungle, and I was able to steal from there. There was no human there. There was no person except me. So I said fine, okay. So we'll wait for others. The second one goes. So he goes, crosses the city, goes into jungle, goes deeper, and gets something from there. And he comes back, and his father asks, so were you able to steal something when no one watched you? He said yes. So I not only went out of the city where we have people, I not only went into the jungle, but I also actually went into so deep, so where I could see that I not only have people, but I also don't have any birds or animal. There was no one. I also took care, not only took care of the humans, but I also took care of the animals and birds, the other form of lives. And I stole this thing from there. It's fine. So let's wait for the third one. The third one went, crosses the city, goes into the jungle, goes further, deeper, 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 and he comes back. So his father asks, the king asks, so were you able to steal something? He said no. Said, why not? There should be plenty of places where you can steal things from, where no one is watching you. So he said, so I crossed the city where I started finding less people. I crossed the city, got into jungle where I did not have people, but I had animals. I went into further deep where I did not have as many animals, but I had some birds. I went deeper where I did not have even any birds, but some insects. I went even deeper where I could not see anyone there, but still I could not steal something, because I realized even if no one is watching, I'm watching myself. So if you look for stealing from that perspective, if you're watching yourself, you know what you're doing. It'll help you not steal things. And I'm not saying that we all are stealing things or we all are bad, but stealing is not only taking some things away or someone's something away. It's either not giving someone due credit for something. That is also stealing. We can discuss there what kind of stealings are there, different forms of there. Not Don't want to spend too much time there because we have quite a lot to cover. Um, but yes, just remember that story. Coming to the mental side of it, cleanliness of mind, like I said, violence is also verbal. The kind of thoughts you have, they determine, they help, they dictate basically where you're gonna go, what we wanna fill ourselves with, the kind of information we receive, they actually convert into thought. The information in any case is mental, right? If we consider information to be physical, then we'll say it's book, or it is something, wherever we get information from, but ultimately it is getting converted into data or getting into our mind in form of thoughts or beliefs or understanding or whatever you call. And it's really important that we keep what serve our purpose, what serve the direction where we getting into. I remember one description Laura mentioned in one of the meetings, in deciding about whether something is good or not, is thinking of whether something expands you or something contracts you. So look at that, whether this information or some information that you're being exposed to or you exposing yourself to is helping you expand or contract. Selflessness, that is really important. And I might sound like a broken record here because many a times I have spoken at these things about, in many different ways in many of our meetings, and you would think that I'm repeating the same thing. But actually, life is simple. We try to find complicated meanings, and life comes back to the same thing, same basic principles. If we come back to realize that, if we realize things, if we make ourselves aware, you will see the same basic things everywhere. Selflessness. How many people talk about it? How many religion talk about it? So many times. The aspect of selflessness, I'm not going to get into detail of what selflessness is. Just the aspect that I want you to remember is that selflessness is something where you don't boast of helping someone else, or you don't show off that you help someone. The best way of helping someone is secrecy. In in secrecy. In fact, in Sanatan Dharma, the religion that I come from, by the way, I'm not religious anymore, but there's a saying: the best way of help is that if you're helping from right hand, your left hand should not get to know, because when you let it come to you, make other people aware, it actually becomes your ego, or it helps shape your thinking. At times it acts adds to your arrogance. You start thinking, oh, I'm able to help someone. Maybe sometimes those thoughts are helpful in a way that you want to reaffirm that you are able to help. We can discuss that some other time, but just remember that helping someone without boasting, without thinking that, oh, I'm stronger, I'm better, richer, or whatever it is. uh, Helping without expecting anything as well. I'm helping because I want to get something is a different thing. I will call that as a transaction. I will rather call that as a sacrifice. The last point that I've made here. Isn't a sacrifice a transaction? We give something up for something else to get something. So selflessness is different. Let's come to sacrifice before going to contentment, because we started talking about sacrifice. So sacrifice is another way, and that also goes in a way of we having many desires, many things that we can do. We have to put our attention to something that adds value, and when I say value, it's something that you want to do. You want to stay focused on that path. If you're um, going to go to a destination, say suppose you're driving to a city from here which is 100 miles from here, you definitely would follow the path which is either the shortest or the fastest, or path which is safer. You're not gonna go zigzag. You go to this city, spend 2 days there, go to some other city, you like a pond there, you're gonna enjoy some time over there. I'm sure there'll be numerous places within that 100 miles where you would find scenic, beautiful places, some really good people, some really good things where you can spend time. But would you do that? So at times we have to make that sacrifice, not go after desires, or all the desires rather, but go after some and let go of others. Sacrifice is really important, and that's where the contentment also comes from. They go hand in hand, because if we are sacrificing and if we are not content, we will not end up with right feeling or nice feeling. We will think that we have sacrificed so much, we did not get anything. Contentment is something that will determine how happy you are with something, with the situation, or wherever you are. If you're going to keep looking at what you don't have, no matter what you have, you will not be happy. I'll Okay, I'll tell you a very small story about desires and desires coming true. I'm sorry I'm taking some time, but I just wanted to share this as well. I mean, I thought of sharing this. So, um, a person is sitting under a tree and then um, sitting just thinking that, oh, how nice it would be if an apple falls. An apple falls, and he becomes so very nice. But I know apple can fall from this tree because I'm sitting under the apple tree. But how nice it would be if a mango fall from the apple tree. So the mango, uh, he gets to see a mango falling. So mango falls, and he becomes quite intrigued. Oh, I never saw that. And mango falling from this tree look like this tree is not what it is. There's something else. Um, I guess it is a divine tree or a magic tree. If there's a magic tree, there should be some light, and he starts seeing some light. When he starts seeing some light, he thinks that, oh, this is not a tree. This is some power, something really powerful. And he imagines a shape, a form of that power, and he sees this light, strong shape that he imagined. Then he thinks, oh, if this is a power, if this can do something, then this power can actually harm me and kill me as well, because he becomes fearful of this. And guess what happens? He gets killed. The story not may not be very uh, what do you say, in high spirits or with happy ending, or with always giving you good message. The message is good, by the way. What it means is, no matter what you do, even if you have um, ability to make your dreams come true, your dreams are going to go from one to another, and that will not stop. And sometimes some of those dreams are gonna come back, or desires rather, gonna come back and impact you negatively, or in an opposite way, as I would say. Because even if you have the ability to get everything what you want, how would you get rid of the negatives or the thoughts that you have? In that case, you would want an ability to only act on a kind of thought, but versus the other kind of thought. So even if you have this ability, this connection, law of attraction, or this god or creator, or a magic wand that works on every thought you have, guess how your life is going to be? Just think of that. The spiritual side of things, celibacy, it's an interesting topic. Will not spend too much time today on this one. I do want to cover other things as well. Maybe some time later we can talk about it. So it is based on the physical sexual attraction. I would say, if you want to take more advantage of the energy that you are, if we do the physical connect with each other, let me call it this way, the term, if I use that term, only for not for fun or joy, and more for procreation or evolution or whatever, you will see that some of that energy helps you in this partnership. That is the currency. That is something that can really help you. Everything that we do requires some energy. Even eating requires energy. Digesting requires some energy. Sleeping requires energy. Everything requires energy actually. Every activity requires energy, and this is one energy um, stream that is given to us, which mostly we waste because we look at the physicality of certain things. I will stop at there. I will not go deeper in this. Just remember, this is one of the reason many of the highly spiritual beings, they practice celibacy, or they are, when I say celibacy, don't take it to complete extreme. There are people who go to that extreme as well, but then having limited involvement, let me put it this way. There's a reason everyone talks about it, at least who are highly spiritual or highly religious. Spiritual energy, we all have spiritual energy. That is something that are required. The energy our spirit creates based on how we think, how we are, how the surrounding around us is, the kind of people that we interact with, how we think, the persona, the aura, no matter what you call it. We need that spiritual energy as well. The more spiritual energy you have, the faster you will see things happening. Going to next one, truthfulness. Like we were talking about non-violence or non-stealing, being truthful is really important. Being true not to others only, but to ourselves as well. Because we may be able to fool someone else, will we be able to fool ourselves? So just remember that. We'll not spend too much time because everyone understands what truthfulness is, what being true is. And think of universal well-being. That's where the selflessness as well comes into relation with this. Think of everyone's good. All these things, when you do, if you look at how these things are adding value, all of these practices will help you get that energy that you would need, that energy that you can use either by your actions, by your thoughts, or by spiritual involvement. You will see that all of this will help you, and that is why these acts are important. So look at this way of describing the action, or how can we become partner, is we are aspiring, acting, and attaining. We have to aspire to something, and we have to act on that before we can attain. So this is where we can aspire and act before we can attain.